The Conjuring Last Rites is about paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren's final case. The film is set in the 1980s and follows the couple as they investigate a family in a small town. Plot details: the Warrens face a demonic force linked to a dark ritual performed decades earlier. The film explores themes of faith sacrifice and the ultimate confrontation between good and evil. The Warrens' fight with the malevolent entities will test their courage, faith, and legacy. The plot of SAW11 is still under wraps, but it will likely involve the return of Jigsaw and explore the post-Jigsaw timeline. Possible plot elements: Jigsaw's return. Tobin Bell's character John Kramer may return in SAW11. Cecilia's quest for vengeance. The plot may focus on Cecilia Jigsaw's daughter seeking revenge. Intertwine past and present. The plot may intertwine the past and present, revealing secrets. According to current information, the Blackphone2 is expected to continue the chilling narrative from the first film, focusing on the mysterious occurrences surrounding a disconnected phone, likely introducing new characters and deeper mysteries, while still centering around the horrifying Grabber character, potentially exploring the aftermath of Fiennes' escape from his use basement captivity and the effects of his traumatic experience as he navigates a new stage of life like high school. 1 year after her sister Melanie mysteriously disappeared, Clover and her friends head into the remote valley where she vanished in search of answers. Exploring an abandoned visitor center, they find themselves stalked by a masked killer and horrifically murdered one by one, only to wake up and find themselves back at the beginning of the same evening. Trapped in the valley, they're forced to relive the night again and again, only each
more terrifying than the last.
It's been almost 3 decades since the rage virus escaped from a biological weapons laboratory, still living in a ruthlessly enforced quarantine. Some have found ways to exist amid the infected. One such group of survivors lives on a small island connected to the mainland by a single heavily defended causeway. When one of them decides to venture into the dark heart of the mainland, he soon discovers a mutation that has spread to not only the infected but other survivors as well. For the past several years, the Heart Eyes Killer has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples. This Valentine's Day, no couple is safe. As couples everywhere prepare for love, the chilling presence of the Heart Eyes Killer casts a looming shadow over their happiness. While love is in the air, the headlines reveal a darker truth as fear grips the hearts of those who dare to celebrate. In the safety of their homes, couples continue to celebrate, but little do they know that danger is just beyond their door. In the 1930s, a lonely Frankenstein travels to Chicago to seek the aid of a Dr. Euphronius in creating a companion for himself. The two reinvigorate a murdered young woman, and the bride is born. She is beyond what either of them intended, igniting a combustible romance, the attention of the police, and a wild and radical social movement. In Fear Street Prom Queen, set during the 1988 prom at Shadyside High, a group of popular it girls are fiercely competing for the title of prom queen. But when an unexpected outsider is nominated, the other candidates start mysteriously disappearing, leading to a terrifying series of murders as the group grapples with a sinister force tied to the town's dark history, all while navigating the pressures of high school social dynamics. A mysterious woman appears repeatedly in the family's front yard, delivering chilling warnings that leave the residents questioning her identity and the potential danger she might pose. The woman's presence grows unsettling as she gestures towards the house, and the family becomes increasingly desperate to uncover the truth behind her mysterious warnings. As the night deepens, the family's fear escalates, and they find themselves torn between confronting the woman and staying hidden from her ominous presence. The tension reaches its peak as the father decides to confront the woman, driven by a mix of fear and determination to protect his family from the unknown threat. Violet, a widowed mother stepping out for her first date in years, enters an upscale restaurant, feeling a mix of excitement and anxiety as she spots Henry, who exceeds her expectations in charm and looks. As the evening unfolds, Violet and Henry share laughter and chemistry, but the mood starts to shift when Violet's phone begins to buzz incessantly with mysterious messages that unsettle her. With each new message, Violet's excitement turns to anxiety. and Henry's concern grows as he realizes something is amiss, feeling the weight of an unseen presence looming over their date. Clown in a Cornfield, 2025. Quinn Maybrook and her father have moved to tiny boring Kettle Springs to find a fresh start. But what they don't know is that ever since the Bay Pen corn syrup factory shut down, Kettle Springs has cracked in half. On one side are the adults who are desperate to make Kettle Springs great again, and on the other are the kids who want to have fun, make prank videos, and get out as quick as they can. Kettle Springs is caught in a battle between old and new tradition and progress. On their way to their honeymoon, a couple finds themselves stranded when their vehicle unexpectedly breaks down on a secluded road. With no other options, they take refuge in a remote Airbnb, unaware of the dangers that lurk in the shadows as night descends. As they settle into the Airbnb, unease creeps over them, and they exchange worried glances each time a twig snaps outside. Their hearts race when they sense a presence in the darkness, realizing they are not alone. Confined to a secluded rest home and trapped within his stroke-ridden body, a former judge must stop an elderly psychopath who employs a child's puppet to abuse the home's residents with deadly consequences. As he gathers the courage to speak, the former judge rallies the residents, whispering tales of his past battles against injustice, while the ominous puppet looms ever closer. In a moment of unity, the former judge's voice rises above the fear, igniting a spark of bravery among the residents as they prepare to confront the puppet's sinister master. In the chilling narrative of Companion, a young woman named Cera finds herself entangled in a nightmarish reality, where her charming boyfriend Alex is not who he seems to be. Frankenstein, 2025, Mephistopheles, an adaptation of the classic novel. The epic emotional adventure is set in Eastern Europe during the 19th century, exploring the themes of fatherhood and human nature. A creature born out of the experiments of Dr. Victor Frankenstein, after being presumed dead in a fire 40 years before, is tracked down by another scientist, Dr. Septimus Pretorius, who wishes to continue the experiments started by Dr. Frankenstein. Jeremy Fitzgerald has begun working as a night security guard at a new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location. Each night, an unnamed staff member calls Fitzgerald on the phone to provide advice and information on the franchise's backstory. In Megan 2, Zero Gemma, Allison Williams, and Katie, Violet McGraw, face off against a self-aware spy robot called Amelia. The sequel takes place 2 years after the events of the first movie. Plot details: a defense contractor steals Megan's technology to create Amelia, a spy robot that seeks to take over AI. Gemma becomes an advocate for regulating artificial intelligence. To fight Amelia, Gemma reconstructs an upgraded Megan. The original team and many of the actors from the first movie return. The 2025 I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot is about a group of friends who are stalked by a killer who knows a dark secret from their past. The plot is similar to the original movie, which was released in 1997. Plot details: a group of friends are terrorized by a stalker who knows about a gruesome incident from their past. The stalker plans to make them pay for what they did. The story will build on the legacy of the franchise while introducing fresh elements. A deadly secret in social media will heavily influence the story. Camp counselor Jason Hochberg thinks his biggest problem is feeling out of touch with his teenage co-workers. What he doesn't know is that a mysterious masked killer is lurking on the campgrounds, brutally picking off victims one by one. In an attempt to bond with his younger colleagues, Jason reaches out, but he remains unaware of the danger creeping closer, as laughter and camaraderie mask the rising tension surrounding them. As night falls over the camp, Jason's unease deepens when he notices the absence of his campers, leading him to question if it's merely typical teenage antics or something far more sinister at play. When twin brothers Bill and Hal find their father's old monkey toy in the attic, a series of gruesome deaths start. The siblings decide to throw the toy away and move on with their lives, growing apart over the years. As the years pass, Bill and Hal's paths diverge, each consumed by their own lives and haunted by memories of the toy. Strange things begin to happen, stirring up old fears and tensions they thought were buried.